Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing on this beautiful evening? It is hump day.
Happy hump day.
I know, right? Hello, everybody. Keith is in the house. Mike and Rihanna's Adventure and Alice Lugo Studios. So we are here to talk about the Port of Seattle. So in the meantime, let me go ahead and say hello to Alice Lugo Studios, Eddie Lugo Studios. Welcome in. Mike and Rihanna is here. Oh, look at that. The Pixie Dust Traveler. She found us. How are you? Scott Smith, welcome in. The mother and daughter duo, welcome in. Thank you guys for coming into the show today. So we're going to give a little bit so everybody can start coming in, and then we're going to start the show today. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Seattle. So guys, are you guys ready for today's show?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back. I'm normal.
Hey, that's right. Because last week, Keith was sick, so he was in here, and Eddie from Eddie Lugo Studios took over. Keith, giving us the news.
Yep.
Look
Thank
at
you,
that.
Eddie.
I know.
Which I let him know the next day, so I was like,
So are you guys ready for Christmas, or are you still shopping?
We're ready.
I'm ready.
not completely ready.
You guys are ready? Everything is wrapped up and ready to go?
Yeah.
I have to bake some cookies to send to my daughter and grandkids, but I told her today you'll get them after Christmas.
See, now you guys make me feel bad because I bought everything, but I haven't packed nothing. So I said after the show tonight, I got a little bit to do here, and then tomorrow is when I'm going to start getting everything done. Welcome in Orange Cone Vlog and Scott Smith. So we're going to start the show right now. We're going to be talking about the Port of Seattle. So here we all go. And hopefully you guys enjoy today's port. So let's talk about the Port of Seattle. Hey, everybody. So I will be bringing you the history of the Port of Seattle. And it's very interesting, the information that you find when you're looking, for these different ports. I actually learn new things as we go along. So one of the things that I learned about the Port of Seattle was that over the course of more than a century, the Port of Seattle was provided facilities for an expansion of Seattle shipping trade, later including a container shipping and the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. And they helped generate an increasing economic activities in the area. Although the Second World War halted much of the global shipping trade and negatively impacted the economy, Seattle again became a major port after the war. So you could imagine, back in the time, and I was taking out some pictures. This is what the Port of Seattle used to be like back in the time. And then right after that, they started, building more structural and things like that. So it's really nice when you get to kind of like see and enjoy, the different ports and how they were built and what they look like. And just to give you some information, at the time of the creation of the Port of Seattle, as an institution, Seattle was already a major port. However, in Central Waterfront, was somewhat chaotic due to a part of having an 8 or more or less parallel railroads tracking along the maintained wooden planking of the railroad avenue. Although in the 1903 and 1906 construction of the Great Northern Tunnel through the downtown had elevated some of the chaos because of trains that were merely passing through no longer needed to use the waterfront route. And it did not change the basic fact that this avenue along the central waterfront was 150 feet and 46 mile wide, built over the water, difficult to traverse and separate downtown from its piers. It further complicated matters. Tracks were owned by three separate private corporations: the Great Northern Railroad, the Northern Pacific Railroad, and the Pacific Coast Company, which operated the Columbia and Puget Sound Railroad. Furthermore, the railroad companies owned the piers and the warehouses where the rails and ships came together, in creating an anti-competitive effect to other businesses wishing to ship through Seattle. As early as the 1890, Virgil had proposed public ownership not only of the Seattle port, but all ports and then the newly formed state. As part of gaining a statehood, Washington gained control of its own coastal waters, previously under direct federal control. So could you imagine, probably what all these people were going through back then to try and, make sure that they were able to get this port running. So in the 1910, pressure toward public ownership of the port facilities increased when Tacoma, Washington began building the state first municipality-owned dock. Even the Seattle Times, normally opposed municipal ownership, began to advocate for similar measures in Seattle. On March 14, 1911, the Port District Act became state law, allowing the formation of port districts. So that was kind of cool that they did that. The early development from the first of the Port of Seattle was faced with the fact that most of the key properties of the central waterfront on Elliott Bay were already in the hands of the railroad and other vested interests. This meant that most port-owned facilities will be more peripheral will be more peripheral areas to the south, the newly dredged and east waterway of the Duwamish. Oh, now I'm gonna have like a Jeremy. I'm gonna have a bananas here. Duwamish, between the newly filled mainland. Wow, that was a weird word right there. The port commissioned the first automobile ferry in Western Washington, which launched in December 6th of 1913. So that was really cool right there. So if we continue to go one after the World War II and after, the economic depression and the labor troubles of the 1930s were followed by the wartime economic of World War II, even before the U.S. entered the war. So while the war years were boom time on Seattle and its port, then immediately post the war years were not. Wartime production had made Seattle-based the regions of the largest employer. Peace resulted in 70,000 Boeing layoffs during that time. Man, that must have been hard for those people back then. By 1952, it was clear that Seattle's maritime sector was made a post-war recovery commensurate with other U.S. ports. Many companies were worried of doing business in Seattle in the wake of the 1948 strike. So could you imagine, all of that stuff going around? In the 1960s, and I'm going to show you what the port kind of looked like in the 1960s. This is kind of like what it looked like back then. In the 1960s, they put ports and labor unions in the west coast of North America, including Seattle, firmly in the pathway from the break bulk cargo towards the container cargo towards the containers. Alaska Steamship Company had experimented with the container as early as 1949. In the summer of 1962, with the world's eyes on Seattle as a host of the Century 21 exposition, the port announced a U.S. $30 million plan to build a major new container port in that area. As they continue to grow, naturally advantages were not always on Seattle's side. For example, the Totem Ocean Trail Express, founded in 1975, offered to base its shipments to Alaska out of Tacoma, where the land was cheaper and room for expansions less likely to be an issue. As we continue in the 21st century, the Bell Street Pier Cruise Terminal opened in 2000, bringing heavy cruise ships to Seattle for the first time in decades. The Seattle was a home port for the ships of New Regent Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean International, and second of the terminal opened the following year by year 2003, Holland America Line and Princess Cruises. We're running cruise lines to Alaska from our contemporary cruise berth at Terminal 30. It was estimated that in 2011 that each home port ship calls puts $2 million into the Seattle economy. In the wake of the September 11 attack, security became a major priority. Besides the well-known measures at airport, there was also measures increasing the seaport security throughout the remains of the case of the vast majority container ship without their contents even as being inspected. So in 2012, the Port Commissioner began outreach in the Century Agenda and a strategic plan for the port next 25 years. That same year, the port became one of the most vocal opponents of the proposal to build a new arena in a stadium district, which said that they can cause issues of its operation. The city of Seattle studied the port concerns at length and found to be lacking in factual data of the extensive studies. So as you can see, I'm going to put some more pictures here for you guys. Okay, hold on. This one is what the Port of Seattle looks like today. These are some of the new venues that they have built since. And there's like a ship on the long side of Seattle. And there's a ship in town. So as you can see, guys, this is the information from the Port of Seattle today. I'm going to pass it out to Alice. Alice is coming in on what to do around the port.
Hey, everybody. Glad you're here. And I'd like to just give a couple shout outs to a few people that have joined our channel. We have the mother and daughter duel, Wanda and Destiny. Welcome in. And Scratch and Pete is here with us. Thank you for joining. Emily is here. Orange Cone. Hello, Ross. And we have Marjorie Ambrosi. And she says, Seattle looks like a car state. And I don't drive. I may need to hitchhike in Seattle when I travel to the Alaska cruise. And I would say, Uber it. So those are a few people that have joined since Tinkerbell started sharing. Okay, so I'm going to talk today about things you could do around the port. And so let's get that slideshow up. And here we have a picture of 3 of the ports that are in Seattle. We have the Smith Cove Cruise Terminal, the Bell Street Cruise Terminal, and then there's a few others, but there's also a Port 91. You could see right in the middle where there's downtown Seattle. So the Bell Street Cruise Port is closest to there. And here is the terminal at Pier 91. And Pier 91 serves as a home port for Carnival Cruise Line, Celebrity Cruises, Holland America Line, Princess Cruises, and Royal Caribbean. And it's located at the north end of Seattle's waterfront on historic Smith Cove. And it's just 10 minutes from the city's retail core and the famous Space Needle. And it's about a 30 to 40 minute direct ride to the airport. And here is a picture of the Bell Street Cruise Terminal, which is at Pier 66. And then, of course, the Bell Harbor Cruise Terminal. And you could see the lines where it shows the 3 different ports and how close things are in the area. This map is showing the route from the airport up to the cruise port terminal, Pier 91. And I want you to know that you can enjoy traveling around Seattle either before or after your cruise, luggage free. Who does not like to travel around luggage free and check out all the things that are going on in Seattle? Well, if you're cruising in or out of Seattle, the Port of Seattle is pleased to offer complimentary luggage transfer from the ship to your airline at the end of the cruise. How about that? The Port Valet highlights to take advantage of the Port Valet service, your departure flight must be on the same day that you disembark the ship, and you receive your boarding pass before leaving your ship. Enjoy streamlined disembarkation, enjoy Seattle luggage free, and skip the baggage lines at the airport. Track your bags for peace of mind. So there'll be an app and you could track where your bags are. The Port Valet is a complimentary luggage service sponsored by the Port of Seattle and our cruise line and airline partners. But they say you should enroll early, and there's 2 ways that you could sign up. Enroll online before your cruise, or once on board, complete the enrollment form that is found in your stateroom. And if you have questions about eligibility, check with the guest services team on your ship. It's best to enroll during the first few days of your cruise, and you can use Port Valet if you are flying with these participating airlines: Alaska, American, Delta, Horizon, JetBlue, Southwest, and United. And current participating cruise lines are Carnival, Celebrity, Holland America, Norwegian, Princess, and Royal Caribbean. So the night before your cruise ends, you'll receive your airline boarding passes and a special luggage tag from your ship's crew. And you set your bags outside your cabin that evening, and the ship's crew will pick them up. Your luggage will be securely transferred directly from the cruise ship and checked in with your airline all the way to your destination airport. You don't have to do a thing. So enjoy Seattle and capitalize on your freedom and spend the day exploring Seattle in its most beautiful season. And you can visit Seattle website. They can help you plan your day. And they have 2-hour itineraries, 4-hour itineraries, and you could do self-tours as well. And when you get to the airport, you would just skip that airport line for the check-in because you already have your boarding pass and your luggage is already checked. So you would just go straight to the security gate and board your plane when it's time. Your luggage will be at your final destination. So, and like I said, you can check your bags on an app to keep track of where they are. So you don't have to worry about that. At the cruise port, there is parking available. And so, okay. So there is parking available in many different areas. This is a nice overview of the downtown area of Seattle. But Pier 91 parking is available to all cruise passengers, and the secure lot offers 1,000 spaces and is conveniently located on site. And then a complimentary shuttle makes parking easy. So friends and family who pick up or drop off passengers also are encouraged to use the lot or the free cell phone lot. And general parking is available for $29 per day. You get a $1 per day discount when you pay online. And they also have RV and trailer parking available, and that's $60 per day for anything under 40 feet and $65 per day for vehicle combinations over 40 feet. And RV parking must be reserved and prepaid online to guarantee a space. So this is a really good website that I would recommend you go into if you are visiting Seattle. It's visitseattle.org, and they have some really great information. And this is where you would find the itineraries for what to do if you were staying for just 1 day or 2 days, 3 days. You have many different things. So I am going to show you what they recommend if you only have about 2 hours. Now, I'm not sure how you'll pack everything in, but this is what they recommend. So we'll see. So nearby, just a quick walk away, they say that, Seattle is a small and walkable city, so you could pack a lot in, and it's easy to get to the airport from any of the places that I'm going to be showing you today. So this here is the Pike Place Market. It's the oldest continuously operating farmers market in the country. And it's just a 10-minute walk from Pier 66 or a 25-minute bus ride using Route 24 from Pier 91. Historic Pike Place Market is a natural first stop. The multi-level market is a bustling mix of artisan craft and produce vendors, sweeping strands of technicolor flowers, locally owned shops, and live entertainment in the form of street bushers and waiter-clad fishmongers slinging salmon. So for scenic views of Elliott Bay and the Olympic Mountains, you could stroll the newly expanded market front, which houses 47 new vendors and 4 new restaurants and a large outdoor plaza. And finally, no trip to Pike Place Market is complete without a picture near this famous public market sign and a clock at the entrance on First and Pike, so you can keep track of when you need to get onto that cruise ship or continue along to get to your airport. Now, I know we have a lot of coffee drinkers in our community and in the world. So next, you should stop at the original Starbucks store, which transformed coffee into a big deal. So fuel up and take a photo at this original Starbucks. And the Starbucks began in 1971 along the cobblestone streets of Seattle's historic Pike Place Market. It was here where Starbucks opened its first store, offering fresh roasted coffee beans, tea, and spices from around the world for its customers to take home. Their name was inspired by the classic tale Moby Dick, evolving the seafaring tradition of the early coffee traders. And over the next 50 years, they would grow to open stores globally and welcome millions of customers each week, becoming a part of the fabric of tens of thousands of neighborhoods all around the world. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker, but this would be one of the stops that we would be making. Why? Because Eddie is a big coffee drinker. And although he's not a big Starbucks drinker, I'm sure, being that this is the very first original Starbucks, he'd want at least that photo opportunity. Next on the list is Beecher's Handmade Cheese, where you can watch the artisanal cheese making process and have the most delicious tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich of your life, or a bowl of signature mac and cheese from Beecher's Handmade Cheese. This here is Pioneer Square. It's Seattle's first neighborhood dating from the Gold Rush. And if it's a nice day, you could stroll around there. And then the Smith Tower, the city's original skyscraper at 38 stories and the tallest building west of the Mississippi when it was built in 1914. So for a bird's eye view of the city, visit the Seattle's first official skyscraper, Smith Tower, and it has an open air observation deck and 360 degrees view of the city. Also, there is a Sky View Observatory. It's the highest public observation deck on the West Coast at 902 feet high. Then you have the Seattle Art Museum, and it has a permanent collection and rotating exhibitions spanning classic temporary art, just steps from the Mike Place market. So head there if you like to, see different arts. Now this is the Olympic Sculpture Park. It's an outdoor museum with world-class artwork and views of the Seattle waterfront. The Olympic Sculpture Park on the waterfront is another downtown art mecca, offering a sprawling 9 acres to stroll and enjoy larger-than-life art installations framed by glistening Elliott Bay. Now, I don't know about you, but I love going on these Ferris wheels. And I've been on quite a few. When we went up to Canada, to Niagara Falls, we went on it. And, I even went when in Times Square, they had the biggest Toys R Us store. And right there in the entranceway, they had a Ferris wheel. Maybe not quite as big, but it was a nice, large size. So any chance I get, I go on it. And this is Seattle's 175-foot tall Ferris wheel, and it has epic glimpses of mountains and waterfront. And it's called the Great Whale. Whale. And last but not least is the Seattle Aquarium, where a giant Pacific octopus can't wait to stare back at you. So for an up-close look at the marine life native to Puget Sound waters, the Seattle Aquarium on Pier 59 is home to sea otters, a giant Pacific octopus, tide pools, and other amazing creatures. So explore the underwater world of the Pacific Northwest and a Pacific coral reef. It's a perfect way to round out your Seattle experience. So, that's just supposed to be a 2-hour itinerary. Of course, you can make it a little longer if you spend a little bit more time looking at that octopus or the arts and stuff. But, this is all within walking distance to the public market. And you have a couple hours to spare before you get onto your plane. That's a perfect 2-hour itinerary. So now on to Mike for some other excursions that you could take while in Seattle.
Hey, everybody. So we're going to talk about some short excursions you could do in Seattle. These are ones that you can get through a third party. All the ones that you can get on the cruise ship, or basically sightseeing tours and stuff like that. So the first one we're going to talk about is you could do a Mount Rainier sunset hot air balloon ride, which is a 2.5-hour balloon ride up to Mount Rainier. You also could do a all-inclusive hike up Mount Rainier with some wine tasting. That's a 12-hour day trip type thing. You also could do a cruise port city sightseeing tour. You also could do, let's see here. from you also can do a full day tour of Mount Rainier from Seattle, which is a 10-hour thing. You could do Squamish Falls and a Twin Falls guided tour from Seattle. You can also do a Olympic National Park, I guess a hike thing, which is a 12-hour thing. You also could do Squamish Falls and Woodvine wine tasting, which is 5.5 to 8 hour excursion as well. Also, you can do the Woodland Park Zoo, which is a huge zoo in Seattle. I've been there numerous times. Great zoo. You could go down to the pier, the waterfront. There's restaurants and everything along there. One suggestion I highly recommend you guys going to try out is Ivor's Fish and Chips on the waterfront. If it's still there, I don't know if it is or not, but that's one really good restaurant. I used to go there all the time with my grandparents, so really good place to eat. There's also the Ferris wheel there that I was talking about earlier. And there's numerous more excursions that you could do in Seattle. You could do the Space Needle. You could do a monorail ride from the Space Needle to one of the shopping centers, basically, and do some shopping at the mall there in downtown Seattle, if you would like. So I think that's all I have for the excursions here today. So I'm going to pass it over to Keith.
Welcome. Obviously, I am Keith. Okay, so welcome to Seattle. So we're going to talk about right now the gas prices. If you could put the video up. All right. Well, all right. There we go. So gas is $4.44 a gallon as of January 1st, 2024. The minimum wage is going to be at $19.97 an hour, right? So that's what the gas prices will be by then, and all that. And next is the Seattle Cruise Port currently has no cruises. The last cruise that sailed out of Seattle was the Norwegian Sun, the NCL Sun, which is the same ship, on October 30th. And the next cruise is going to be the NCL Bliss, which is going to be on April 6th, right? So that is going to be the next cruise that's going to be going on, right? And the weather right now is currently 47 degrees. And if you don't know anything about Seattle, it's one of the most, it gets a lot of rain out there, but it doesn't get the heavy rain like we get all the way out and over here. So from my researches, it says it rains 149 days, right? Compared to like Miami 135, and up here in New York we get rain. But the amount of rain that you get in those cities is a lot more than you get in Seattle. So you always hear on the news that they have a lot of rain, but it's like the way it sounds like it's not heavy rain, like the heavy rain downfall that we get, especially down like in Florida where you will get like heavy rainfall that will come like that. I remember when I was in the Dominican Republic, I mean, it got torrential rainfall, and then for like 5 minutes later, all the water was gone. So that was actually pretty cool to experience. And so the Port of Seattle had a total of 291 cruises. So here's some sports news I have going on. The University of Washington, obviously, if you don't know, if you watch college football, they're in the NCAA playoffs, and I have another news, and I have another sports news. A boy is in police custody for setting the Port of Angeles playground on fire. So I guess the little boy didn't like the playground too much, right? And this the last sport news is going to be the Seattle Seahawks are actually happened on, I think it was Monday. They beat the Eagles 20-17. So I was actually kind of happy being a Giant fan. I don't like the Eagles too much. And now I have some news about the about the commissioner, right? So the Port of Seattle commissioner violated ethics code by his position to gain special privileges or exemption with a nonprofit by getting involved in the leadership of Washington Maritime Blues Quiet Sound program. So he got involved in all that. Obviously, he abused his power, abused his position to do so, right? And now I have a story which I'm going to put out right now. Which I had put out in August, around August 21st. So if you want to go back to actually watch the full video of it. So this is actually, a really like sad story. So you can put the picture up of the family now. So this family had lost over $60,000 on a cruise, right? Well, they actually never made it to a cruise. So they took an Antigua cruise. It was a luxurious cruise. They booked a suite, and it was going to leave from Vancouver, right? So they were from North Carolina. They had 2 flights. Both of them got canceled in North Carolina. So they went to Atlanta. They took a flight from Atlanta, right? And then from Atlanta, they went all the way to Seattle, hoping that they could get a cab from Seattle to Vancouver. But that's going to cause a lot of issues because, first of all, as you know, a handful of cab drivers are immigrants. Some of them are illegal immigrants. So they're not they're trying to make money off the books and do all that. And also, if some of them are actually even if they're just immigrants here and they have like the right cards, the green cards, they don't want to leave. And I know a lot of people who are actually cab drivers, just people in general in the United States, we don't walk around with a passport and say, okay, so the cab drivers are not going to be walk around with a passport to take you to Canada. So they had that issue, and the other issue was they did a major mistake. So actually, a couple of major mistakes. One is, I always say, is the biggest mistake you always make is never fly the day of the cruise. They flew the day of the cruise from the East Coast to West Coast, which is like a 6.5 hour flight, right? So you were cutting your time right then and there. And, that's a real long flight. And they also, with that amount of money that you spent on the cruise, what a mistake they did that is get travel insurance. I understand people don't want to get travel insurance for cruises. Like a lot of times I've gone to cruises, I didn't get it, but a lot of times I'm getting offers from the casino. So my cruises aren't as expensive. Obviously, I've never paid for a cruise. Would never pay for a cruise for $60,000. So besides that, but if they would have had the travel insurance, they would have never lost the $60,000. I ain't go into too much detail of the story, but if I am correct, I think they only got back like $5,000, from the cruise. So, if you're going to spend a lot of money on the cruise, please do yourself and get this travel insurance. If you have health issues, and please do and get the travel insurance, because that is something that can actually help you if you have health issues. If you're going to spend money and you're going to miss it, that's why you should always fly a day or two before of any cruise. Like I have cruises coming up next year. Both of them I'm flying into Miami. The cruise is on Saturday and a Sunday, and both times I'm flying in there on Friday. So so I think that should be it for now. I guess we pass over to the rest of the crew. We're just obviously thinking about, but should bring everybody else back in.
That was some cool information.
Yeah. So, I did see the Mustache pop up in here, and I guess he was like half asleep or something. That's the bedtime.
You got up early. Actually, I learned a whole lot from Seattle today. I've never been, but I've heard a lot of my people that have gone. But all that information was like interesting. I'm over here thinking, okay, I need to plan an Alaska cruise now.
No. So Alaska cruise, like I have 3 cruises on my bucket list, right?
Okay.
So Alaska cruise is on my bucket list. It's Alaska, which my wife she would do. The one I need one that leaves from Italy that goes to Greece in the Mediterranean, right? But I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that one with Carnival because those ships are small over there. Right. I need like a bigger ship out there. I might do PO Cruises when I go out because their sister ship. Those ships I've actually looked at. They have some big ships out there that go out over there. And the other one is Australia. But if I do Australia, that's when my wife will be like, she don't want to get in a plane that long. So that's gonna be a tough one, right? But if I do this trip, it's got to be a Trans-Pacific that ends in like Seattle or California.
Right.
You know?
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just looking at the first Starbucks when Alice was talking about it, I said that would be kind of cool, just to go and check it out and maybe take a picture, buy a souvenir cup, something from the first ever,
Yeah.
Starbucks. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be definitely cool. If you like sports, like especially, I've seen it like the fans get really crazy for like the football out there, the soccer, like those fans out. I'll be honest, those fans out in Seattle get probably more crazy than any other fans around the United States.
Yep.
Minus maybe like college football fans,
Oh, wow.
Minus the college, but I'm saying for a professional one. And
Mhm.
I don't know about now, but I know like years ago when they first came out with soccer, they used to have like a whole party before the soccer game. And I saw them doing like a whole parade going into the soccer game.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was like when they first came into the MLS and all that.
That's pretty neat, though. Well,
Yeah.
Orange Cone Vlogs is saying it's also critical to understand that the flight schedules in Seattle very limited flights between 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Since cruiser disembark times do not work with the early AM schedules, you will either have. So that's good. Oh, look who showed up.
Must drill.
No. It's football. Okay. It's FUTBOL. No. It's two different sports. Yeah.
But wow, that is so cool. So who from the community here has gone to Seattle and have actually, been to all these places that you guys got to see today?
Well, the person who would know isn't Bruce from Seattle?
Is he?
He's from that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Orange Cone has traveled there a lot. He said 2 to 3 times a month he was traveling.
Wow. He's gone over there. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says at least 30 times.
Gee. Well,
Yeah,
I guess during 30 times, you must have seen that area really, really good.
That's definitely. I heard that the I'm not a seafood eater, but I heard the seafood out there is really good. I think it was the lobster or the crabs that people go crazy for out there.
See, I can't eat any of that, so I'm good. I would love to go see them throwing the fish back and forth. I think that's pretty cool to see.
No, it's
to the extent.
It's the smell of fish. I think it was. It just gets me so annoyed. I can eat seafood if it's cooked hibachi style. I guess because it gets rid of that smell. Right? I can have the lobster tail, the shrimp hibachi style, but if it's not hibachi style, it's just like I get nauseous. I tried salmon 3 times. I'm not gonna go into details, but I'm just gonna say it didn't end well. Okay.
Look, the mustard says surely Eddie has set up a store in Seattle.
Yeah, he's done quite a few remodels there.
And Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel saying hello, welcome in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Bruce right there.
Yeah,
I
that is so cool.
Yeah, I think he's from Seattle.
And Ross says that the seafood is amazing and fresh.
Nice.
Yeah. They say the seafood over there is really good, and I know on the East Coast, from what I've been told by a lot of people, the best seafood on the East Coast is in Baltimore.
Look at this guy. There you go, mustard drill. That's one of the
but
breakfast items in Seattle, a butter toast.
It's a seafood, so it's probably like a salmon butter toast,
Yeah, it works. You could dip it on the soup, so
Yeah. I mean, I like to take my butter toast with like some over easy eggs. That's it. Yep.
Also, welcome in Canadian Family Life. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Rihanna, hello, welcome in. The best butter toast, says Eddie. Look, see, butter toast is huge with coffee. I could imagine, I wonder if Starbucks sells butter toast in Seattle. Butter bagel, I don't know, something.
I see a lot of the food from Starbucks. It's so overpriced for the food that and you get like something really like tiny, and I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, it's not even worth it. I'd rather just go to like the deli and get like a egg and egg cheese sandwich.
That is true. Yeah, you go to Starbucks and everything is miniature sized.
Yeah, they literally charge you for like a little baby slice of like a corn muffin or something.
They're also known for Seattle's best coffee too.
Oh wow. It's like, what is it, like those what is it, the cupcake, the cup pops or pop cakes, whatever they're called. They're like in a little stick. I forgot what they're called. My daughter gets
Cake
them all the time. Cake pups, and
Cake
it's like
pops?
$3. $3 for a little ball of cake. I'm like, what in the world we're coming to?
Every time I go to Starbucks, I don't say what you're supposed to say. I tell them I want a large. I'm like, I'm not gonna say Viente, whatever it's called. I'm like, medium, large, small. This is how we talk over here.
So Russ, since they don't have Dunkin' Donuts, do they have a popular donut place? Like, where could I get my Boston cream if not at Dunkin' Donuts? And don't say Krispy Kreme because they're not any better.
No, Krispy Kreme, the glazed donuts are good, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't
Yeah.
like Krispy Kreme.
No?
So what do you
No.
do?
But if you get the glazed donuts, you gotta have them fresh.
Yeah. I would say the glazed donuts would probably be okay,
Yeah,
but
it's gotta be fresh. So, like in Manhattan, I've gone to a place where they make it right there. And I tell them take it right off the rack. It's fresh right there, then and there. I want that one because otherwise I'm not gonna have one that's been sitting out for an hour. I want the fresh one because it's hot.
Right.
If it's not hot, I'll be honest. If it's not hot, it don't taste as good at all.
Well, ain't Krispy Kreme have that little sign outside, now hot or whatever,
Yeah.
that you know that they're when they pull up the sign and it's on is because they just freshly made, right?
Yeah. So one of these days I'll go into the one in Manhattan. I'll record. I'll do the whole recording so people can see the donuts flying by.
Well, Eddie Lugo says KK custard donuts are great.
okay.
If there were ever a company I like to see go out of business, is Dunkin'.
Do they not sell butter toast, Scott?
Oh wow.
What? So if he's not having Dunkin', what is he having out there? Is he having the Canadian
Maybe
coffee?
Starbucks
Or the Wawa, right?
or Wawa, yeah.
He's going
Orange Cone says Voodoo Donuts. And for
Yeah.
coffee, go to Bigfoot Coffee.
Oh my God.
Scott, tell us how you
Tell us
really feel.
Man, we should have been prepared with some butter toast in hand today.
Well, yeah, sure.
Maybe for the new year, we'll come out with some butter toast at the end and we'll have all butter toast in the name of Scott.
Yeah, but that means I have to put the toaster right next to me because I like it. I like it hot. You know? Well, I'll do it right away. I'll show myself putting butter on it.
Freshly made. Look, Em's saying that they're gonna have a ham for Christmas. Who's coming over to Em's house? That's what they're gonna be having.
So we're doing. So for Christmas, I think Eve or the day before or those 2 days, I'm going to my in-laws. Then Christmas Day, I'm gonna have my mother at my house with me and my wife.
Welcome in, Randy. And Rihanna says she's never had Dunkin' Donuts. Mike, you've never taken Rihanna to a Dunkin' Donuts?
We don't have them here.
Oh, they don't have them in Canada?
Nope.
Well, you look at that, Scott. You can move to Canada and never see a Dunkin' Donut never again in your
I've never
life.
seen a Dunkin' Donuts here, though.
Don't be too cold.
Hortons, right?
It won't survive.
The Horton place?
The what again?
What?
Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts that's in Canada. Was it Hortons or something?
Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, to me, Dunkin' Donuts ain't bad. The coffee's all right, but to me, you know where I like the best coffee of all the fast food places is Wendy's. I'll be honest, Wendy's is my favorite coffee. I'd rather go there than Dunkin' Donuts.
McDonald's is pretty good.
See, I'm
Yeah,
more of a
McDonald's not bad
Starbucks
also.
person. I don't like Dunkin' Donuts, but I do have a daughter that loves Dunkin'. She prefers Dunkin' over everything.
Yeah. Dunkin's
Oh,
not
wait. Tim Hortons higher McDonald's is better.
For their coffee.
Yep.
Hmm. Interesting. That's good to know.
Yeah. McDonald's got like coffee's not bad.
As
You
long
know,
as it doesn't burn you, you're good.
Well, I don't drink hot coffee. I always drink iced coffee. So
Oh, so you're good. Okay.
yeah, so
Because
I'm not
didn't that
like
there wasn't one lady at one point in time that she got through the drive-through and the coffee burned her, and she sued McDonald's for the hot coffee.
I mean, that's your own fault.
But
You
she's
order a hot coffee, it's
Yeah.
gonna be hot.
Yeah.
oh, look at that. McDonald's has Tim Old's recipe. Oh, look
Yep.
at that. Rihanna's full of information tonight. Look at that. Something we'll learn. I never knew that. Emma saying if anything is Starbucks.
But do they have those worm burgers? You know. I remember when I was a kid. They said those burgers were made out of worms. I don't know if that's true.
Ooh. I don't know.
Hey, to me, I'll still eat them. They taste good. Just don't tell me what's made of them.
No,
'Cause I
I'm
know
good.
that's not something
Do you
I'll eat
want to
every
know
day.
after you eat it what you have eaten, or you just don't want to know at all?
I don't want to know how it got there. You know what you did. You know. I mean, I'm not even like this. There's times I ate stuff. Like I kept it. Oh yeah, this is really good. And then my wife tells me, oh yeah, it was seafood. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't like it no more.
That's pretty cool though. But yeah, it's something new that we learn about the not only the port of Seattle, the area, their surrounding area. So that's pretty cool. I think our next show is going to be, I don't have my list in front of
2 weeks, right?
in 2 weeks, January 3rd,
Aruba.
and
Aruba.
Aruba. That's going to be the port.
And I will be there in.
Woo!
Oh, it will actually probably be June, but my cruise leaves in May.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love that port of Aruba.
I can't. I have like I got like 150 days to count that, something like that. So I can't.
Look, Keith, your mom is saying Dunkin' Donuts isn't that good anymore. The bagels have changed.
I'll be honest. All the years I lived in New York, I would never get Dunkin' Donuts bagels because to me,
Right.
you gotta go to a place that makes the bagels where they work.
Mhm.
You know, so it's gotta be made right there and it's fresh and all that. Those are the places that you go to. If you go to a place that says, "Oh yeah, they sell bagels," but I will literally start looking around for the machine that they make the bagels from. If I don't see it in there, I'm walking out because that means it's not freshly made there.
Right.
So I have a question for you, Keith. So when you're looking at the bagels and you're ordering your nice fresh bagel, wherever it is that you go, do you tell them I want a butter bagel or just the bagel plain?
No. So
Bagel
either
and
way,
bread.
it's always gonna be butter. So if I'm gonna but I'd rather do the butter in my own house, right? If I'm gonna eat at home, I do that. You know, even sometimes I work. I always get a toasted with butter everything bagel.
Oh, those are good. The everything bagels are good.
Oh yeah.
You don't like it?
I like plain or cinnamon raisin.
Cinnamon raisin is good. I
Yeah.
love the everything but bagels.
Yeah.
When
Well,
I
it's
worked in New York City, I worked Lexington Avenue and 40th Street, I think it was. And they had a bagel store that they baked them fresh or however they make them. Fresh bagels, and you see them coming off. And they put it,
Oh
and
man.
they're putting that butter on and wrapping it all up. And oh man, you get upstairs and play. Oh,
to get a fresh bagel from like
delicious.
it's Brooklyn, Queens, or Manhattan. It's really good. Like now pizza, I would tell people don't get it in Manhattan. You go to Brooklyn, Queens. It's so much better in Brooklyn, Queens than it is in Manhattan, in my eyes.
It's okay in Manhattan though.
It's okay. I mean, it's better than the pizza you get all around the United States. but it's better in Queens and Brooklyn, the pizza from my house. I can't say the Bronx because I ain't grow up in the Bronx or Staten Island, you know, because I ain't grow up there. So I mean, I ain't go out over there. Because where I live now, you know, I'm technically still in New York. I'm in Westchester, right next to Connecticut. I won't buy bagels over there. I've tried 4 or 5 different bagel places, and I'm like, it's horrible. I'm like, I just can't have it.
Well, Keith, check this out. So Eddie likes the onion bagels.
Onion bagels good. You know what's funny? When I was a kid, my mother, she loved the salted bagels. Oh my god! I mean, it's just pure salt on it. I mean, now she can't have it, you know. So I was like, you know.
And then we have M with plain and a whole wheat and pumpernickel for her. Rihanna came up with a new concoction here. She wants cinnamon raisin bagel with butter with a slice of cheddar cheese and toasted.
That's weird. I mean, another thing I do with bagels is I will get my bacon, egg, and cheeses on the bagels. I don't do it on the rolls. That's the only time I have a plain bagel. I say, give me a plain bagel with the bacon, egg, and cheese.
Look, Mike is saying he likes blueberry bagel with double strawberry cream cheese. Ooh, that's different. We're gonna end up leaving the show to go have some butter toast and bagels here. I bet you the community is like, okay, let me get some coffee. Let me go to the kitchen.
That's probably making the bagel.
Maybe in 2 weeks I'll have a bagel here. Look, butter toast.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Miss Nancy saying I have egg bagels.
Yeah. She likes those egg bagels. You know, they're good. Actually, I think I'm gonna pick up some bagels on Friday because I'm gonna pick up my mother on Friday. But Friday I got a busy day, so I have my live at 6 because I changed it to 6:45 because I got dinner reservations at 8:30.
Okay.
So me, my wife, my brother, and his wife, we're gonna go out to a steakhouse right up here, right?
Nice.
Ruth Chris or something like that, right? Chris, whatever, right? So we're gonna go out there, right? So that's why I did it early, and also I'm trying to do like a Christmas special one, you know, just bring people on, and anybody else who's a content creator want to come on, be my guest. You know?
Emily has a question for Keith.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know, I just put out there a poll because I know Mustard Drill is lurking in here. Rihanna just said
look, he's back.
Butter. Toast with butter. That's what she says. And here comes the Mustard Drill.
I haven't been to Sammy Bagels yet, so I will look them up.
Have you been to Sammy's Bagels?
Where is that? Which town? Because I know it's probably in Westchester somewhere.
Toast bagel with butter. And then we got Orange Cone saying, I only buy bagels from a bagel store.
Yep, that'd be the best.
Keith is on Weaver Street.
Well, I guess I'll take a look.
Oh, look, Rihanna's part of Team Scott. Look at Rihanna. Hey.
You know what I'm going to do one of these days? I'm going to buy the life vest for the cruise ship. You know? Just because Sky used to do that for his cruise videos, you know?
Well, you got to have the fedora and the glasses.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys, have you guys ever seen David Letterman?
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you remember Paul?
Yeah.
Paul Schaefer?
Does he not look like Scott?
Kinda, yeah.
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 That's the first thing. The first thing I saw him, when I saw it, I was like, "Yo, he looks like he could be a relative of Paul Schaefer."
So, Keisha, what is your plan? You're gonna get one of those mustard drill vests, the little life jacket?
Yeah, I'll get a life jacket, and you know, I'll put some fake water behind me.
You gotta have the fedora and the eyeglasses and everything. You gotta.
I gotta have the sunglasses that he has. You know?
Yeah. And make
And
sure you have a butter
and
toast
I gotta
on
shave my head. I gotta shave my hair too.
You- Keith, and then you have a butter toast in your hand when you're doing that. All right.
Definitely.
Who knows? You might become viral that day.
I've been getting some subscribers this week, so.
Oh, look at what Ross is saying. Scott isn't as ugly as Paul Schaefer.
Like
Oh my God, Ross.
You know?
Oh boy. Oh my God, it's already 9:00.
All right.
We're just over here chit-chatting about all sorts of stuff.
I'm not in a rush.
I guess that's what's really cool about these shows that you talk about one thing and then you end up talking about butter toast and bagels at the end.
No. There were times where I did my show one time for like an hour and a half, and it didn't feel like I did for like an hour and a half. It felt like I did for half hour.
Well, the funny part, Keith, is could you imagine people looking at this show? Oh, let me learn about the Port of Seattle. and
they're like, butter toast?
Oh my God, that'd be funny. Well, guys, we come to the end of our show here tonight on the Port of Seattle. We will see you guys again January 3rd of 2024 to talk about the Port of Aruba.
Yep, 2 weeks. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Have a safe and great holiday with your family. Please be safe out there. We want to see you back again in 2024. If you have not subscribed to any of the channels, make sure you go and subscribe to Cruising with Keith, Mike and Rihanna Adventure, Alice Lugo Studio, and Rihanna's Life Adventure as well. Please go subscribe to them. We're trying to get Alice to 100 before the end of this year. So since you guys know Alice and Eddie, just go out there and show Alice some love, and also to Rihanna's Life Adventure, show her some love as well, because she needs some subscribers as well.
Yeah,
So
we're trying to get.
I know, right?
You need what, 54 for 600?
I'm about 48 away from.
You need 52 for
48
6.
away.
I think I need 21 for 700, so I'm getting there.
Oh, you're almost there.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
never know. We still got what? We still got 11 days for the end of the year.
Yeah,
And,
so
and everybody, congratulate Mike and Rihanna. They just hit 3,000 on theirs.
We're almost at 3,500 now.
What?
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Congrats on that. Also in January, I'll be talking a little bit about a group cruise that Traveling with Tinkerbell is doing, but we're going to leave that for January. So guys, have a safe holiday. Team, have a great time with your families. Have a safe holiday. Everybody, we'll see you guys back January 3rd of 2024. And we're going to be talking about the Port of Aruba. Mm-hmm. Have fun. Whether you like a butter bagel or a butter toast or a toast with butter, we all love you the same.
Yes.
Have fun, guys. I love you all.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Toodles, everybody.
Don't eat too much.
That's going to be my ending from now on. Toodles. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye, guys.
See ya.